Hello, and thank you for joining me for part 3 of our 4 vlogs in 4 days as part of finding a replacement player using Alteryx and Tableau. Today, we're going to be looking at using the Find Nearest Neighbour tool in Alteryx to find statistically similar players to Stuart Holden. The Find Nearest Neighbour tool, sometimes known as K-nearest neighbours, allows us to find the selected number of nearest neighbours in our data stream that corresponds to each of our records in our query stream, based upon their Euclidean distance. So in this example, our query stream is going to consist of performance data related to Stuart Holden, and our data stream is going to be of other centre or defensive midfielders in the Premier League during the 2010-11 season. Therefore, our output will provide us with those players who closely match Stuart Holden based upon the performance metrics we will be using. There are a number of algorithms we can choose from when using the Find Nearest Neighbour tool, but in this example I'm going to stick with a KD tree. This is due to the combination of accuracy and speed that it provides. There are a number of useful links on the screen now, and also in the useful links section below this video in the blog. So let's get started. First of all, I'm going to open up the Alteryx workflow that we have been developing in part 1 and part 2 of this vlog series. If you haven't seen parts 1 and part 2, now would be a good time to have a little look. Here we have the events database and the matches database, which are created from the Opta F24 XML files. And we've just joined those together so we can get the position names and filter to centre midfielder or defensive midfielders only. We have also then summarised our data across the whole of the 2010-11 season to these specific metrics: ball recoveries, middle third, interceptions and key passes per minute. We've also filtered to players who've done 90,000 seconds or more. That's the equivalent of around 15 matches. And at the end we've got the principal component tools, the cluster analysis tool and the append cluster tools that we've previously used in the parts 1 and 2 of this series. I'm just going to run this workflow now. And let's just have a look at the output that we've got from that so far. So we have all of our players, and then across the season we've got these metrics of ball recoveries, middle third, interceptions and key passes per minute, as well as principal components 1 and 2 and the cluster group that that player's in. So let's just take a little look at Stuart Holden. We can see his principal component plots, as well as the fact that he belongs to cluster group 1. So let's get started with our Find Nearest Neighbours tool. This tool is located in the predictive grouping, same as the principal component analysis and the cluster analysis. I'm just going to drop that there onto our workflow. So the first thing to note is that there's 2 inputs to this tool. There's the data input and the query input. Into the data we'll be putting our full set of database of our players, and we'll be querying that against Stuart Holden. So I'm just going to get the filter tool for this. And we're just going to connect that to our stream of data. The filter we're going to apply is based upon player name, and it's going to be Stuart Holden. And then all those players who aren't Stuart Holden, we're just going to connect them to our data input, and the true output of our filter, so Stuart Holden, is going to go to our query input. We then just need to select our unique key field, which in this case I'm going to use player name, select our 4 metrics. We're going to standardise the fields using z-scores, and we're going to look for the 5 nearest neighbours using the algorithm KD tree. Now all I need to do is add a couple of browse tools to the end of this. And run the workflow. If we take a little look at our output, Here we will have our 5 most similar players to Stuart Holden based on their Euclidean distance. We have Ben Watson, Danny Murphy, Luka Modric, Scott Parker and Dixon Atuhu. Now, we could even expand this out a little further to widen our pool of potential players by either looking perhaps for our 10 nearest neighbours or by expanding our initial data set to other leagues across the world. The Find Nearest Neighbour tool in Alteryx provides a very quick and powerful means to find potential replacements for any outgoing player in your team and can even be used to unearth hidden talent. Thank you for joining me. Tomorrow we are going to be visually analysing our data with Tableau. We will use the different datasets we have created in Alteryx in parts 1, 2 and 3 of this vlog series and start to really get hands-on with our data and explore the possibilities to answer our initial question of who could Bolton Wanderers have bought in summer 2011 to replace Stuart Holden?